Alright, y'all, so I decided to once again tear into the car. Next thing I'm gonna do, this project I'm about to work on is I'm upgrading the exhaust. I don't know if y'all remember, um, the exhaust I currently have is pretty much 2.5 back to about the axle back, and then around the axle back it connects back to the factory axle back, which is like 2 and 2 1/4. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build my own 3-inch all the way back. Um, System I had, if you remember, it came with I got the cat and mid pipes, but they also included these flanges for if you wanted to build your own exhaust. Is a 3-inch. Um, so I'm gonna use these to start building my own exhaust. For the moment, I'm gonna do 3-inch straight back pretty much. I don't know if I'm gonna do a muffler yet. I know I'll add one in later, but I think I'm gonna run around rowdy a little bit. At the moment, I just ordered these two 3-inch resonators from eBay. They're just straight through little, pretty much like glass pack resonators, 16 inches long. I actually meant to get the shorter ones. I think they were 12 inches total. So it's a 12-inch chamber, and then it's 2-inch on each side to make 16. The one I was gonna get was 8 inches long, 2 on each side to make 12. But I made an error ordering, so I just told them I'll keep them. That's gonna be pretty much right after the headers, and then I'm gonna go from there into the X pipe, and then back and finish the rest. Right now I got the car up on. I made these little blocks. This actually was a pretty cheap way if you guys want to make some stings. It's some some regular. I had some wood posts from my fence, blew down, just cut them up. Made little blocks to sit the car on. It sits a little bit higher than what it would do on my jack stands. Plus, it actually puts the weight on the wheel, so I can see how the suspension will be actually with the exhaust and stuff. You know, instead of suspension lagging, and make sure it I can actually kind of try to make the exhaust how it's gonna be. I bought this little Lotus welder from eBay. It was about $600. Cheap little welder. It seems to be pretty good quality though. I like it. It's AC and DC, which is why I bought it. That way I can do aluminum later when I want to do some aluminum. I haven't ordered the pipes yet, but I did order one 2-foot long 3-inch pipe just so I can kind of see fit up. I'm just gonna kind of mock the fit up and see if maybe I can weld clamps onto the mufflers. I'm gonna put the mufflers right where the old cats were. All right, see my stock setup. JBL headers, man, these headers still have not flaked, no burn marks or anything. Ceramic titanium coat, love these things. But if you remember, I just use this passenger side. The mid pipes starts at a 3-inch up here, and then next down to 2.5. Got your cat, and everything else is 2.5. I just have this little chambered muffler I put on it. Like I say, everything else back here is still 2.5 though. So this is all 2.5, 2.5, and then right here it kind of notched down to the stock exhaust. I just used some reducers, and that's 2 1/4 all the way back to the stock exhaust. Those are my cutouts I put in. So what I'm gonna do is do a 3-inch all the way back. So instead of it necking down here, the 3-inch all the way back, I'm gonna put the muffler here. That should still give me space to get that O2 sensor in somewhere along here. So I may have to make some adjustments depending on what this bracket here, but I think it'll fit regardless. So first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of get the muffler and the clamp or the pipe JBA supplied the V-band is to see kind of what my fitment will look like. Here's pretty much what I'll be looking at. I'm kind of right around there. I may have to angle this bend from, this is like a 45 into another 45. I may have to make this like a 90 into a 90. Right there, just to fit, because this is a little longer. What I might end up doing is trimming this end off so I can slide it up farther. Then it'll pretty much end exactly where the stock one ended. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is making some pie cuts for the exhaust. I have 3-inch tubing. So what I did was on each side, I just measured up 1.5 inches, which is half the diameter. I marked a straight line down the whole pipe. I did the same thing on the opposite side, exactly 180 degrees out. Using a 9-degree angle. I don't have a bandsaw, all I have is a emitter saw, so I'm using that. Just using 9-degree angle. And I think my circumference, can't quite remember what it's called. I'm doing an inch. So the widest part, oh, that's not it. There we go. This is the one I'm looking for. So the widest part, or the upper part, I didn't deburr this yet, of my pie cut is 1 inch. So this part right here, which is the widest part of the outside radius of the bend, is 1 inch. Then you have the small inside. I can't quite explain exactly how all of it worked. I was watching a guy's video on YouTube. I'll put a link for that. It kind of explained it. So I'm gonna go and I had a 2-foot long 3-inch stainless steel pipe. I'm just gonna cut all this up in pie cuts. And I got some pipe coming later, so this should be enough, hopefully, to kind of let me bend and articulate any angles that I may need to bend later on. Like I said, I'll just simply put it in there. Had the rule over here, so I went up to 1 inch. And all you do is cut one side. Once you cut this angle, you take the pipe, rotate it 180 degrees, make sure that back piece is back at the 1 inch mark, cut again, rotate it again 180 degrees, line it up with the inch mark, cut it again, just repeat. Same thing. Outside is just had a piece of paper on it from the description of the pipe, but there's my outer diameter. I say once again, this is 1 inch. Then all I do is take the pipe, flip it over 180 degrees. I line the outside edge back up to, I put a little line right there, so I line it back up to that. I just take my ruler, measure it, make sure that's at 1.5 inches, so I know I'm exactly straight. Right now I'm not quite there, so I need to move up some more still. I just rotate it. Alright, you see I'm almost dead at 1.5 inches. It can come down just a tad. So I just move it down just a smidge. I say I'm just double checking these measurements. There we go, right at 1.5 inches. Then the one over here, actually I'll line it right up with my little mark. So that's about perfect. I had it kind of right over it. Check my measurement again, still at 1.5 inches. Yeah, just go ahead and make sure it's secure back, and I tighten it down. Just a second, I go cut it again and just keep flipping it over, repeating the process. There you have it. Got a bunch of pie cuts. Can use those to kind of manipulate the exhaust how I want. Hopefully that'll be enough. Or not, so I'll just get another pipe, cut up some more just like that, and should be good to go. Yeah, we'll see where we go from here. All right, y'all, so I'm back. You see I got muffler straightened out. Yeah, my wheels were ugly on that, I'm sorry, but you know, it's cool. The first issue I had was the flange that JBA gave when I welded it flush up to the muffler, the mid muffler or resonator, whatever. Because the way the headers are, the headers kind of have a downward angle. That's what I noticed on the actual pipe. It would go on like this. You see it kind of has that bend, so that way when it's coming at that downward angle like it is, that bend allows it to straighten out flat. Because I did the first time, it was kind of pointing down at the ground. So this is the reason why I really got so messed up, because I had to cut that weld, notch it, had to pie cut it to get the angle I wanted, and then I had to also shorten it to make sure that I cleared this hanger for the O2 sensor. But I got it situated. You see I got just like maybe 2 millimeters of clearance there, and on this side, and this insulation I can kind of bend that back and maybe give myself a little more space. And then here my pipes came in, so I took one of the 45s they had and cut it a little so it wouldn't be quite as long. Got a 45 coming here, connected it with the other 45. I just kind of tacked it at the moment, and here's the other 45, and I was going straight to the tunnel. I'm gonna have my X pipe probably right here, and I'll continue there. I'll show you what it looks like from the back side. All right, here's the back side. Like I say, straight into a 45 here. And right now it's looking like it's gonna fit good. I have just a little bit of clearance right here. And with that, once I tack it and weld it, I can kind of twist that at the V-band and give myself a little more clearance there if I need to. I think I'll be good. But as you see, I got him. It's pretty much coming straight in. That's just my ground clamp for my welder right there. But this is me pretty much try to get level with this bar here. So you see, I should be able to clear it. And right now it's looking like I have a straight shot. My X pipe, I could have made one, but never did one before. I figured I'd usually get the stamped X pipe crossover, so that's what I got. I think it's supposed to be here Friday. So what I'll probably do is calculate for the length of that and go ahead and build try to build the rest out of straight piping. And then, like I said, once I calculate for how long that crossover is, I think it's about 10 or 12 inches. I'll look it up, the specs on it again. Then I'll know how much pipe to cut. Those are just slip fits, so I can just cut out just what I need, slip it right back up. I'll probably try and debate how much I want to weld it. I want to be able to have some disconnectivity to the system. So I know coming off here, the right here with the resonator and the two 45s, I'm going to leave that open. I may get some V-bands and V-band those, because I'm going to leave that pretty much just like the factory system was. That was one piece right there, it just slipped on. But like I said, I do want a little more security to slip fits. I'll probably get a set of V-bands for that one. But I don't know if I want to tie both sides of my exhaust system to the X pipe, so that's the problem I'm trying to think about. Like, if I V-band that in to the X pipe, then I had to put another V-band on the other side of the X pipe to cross over, so I can have separate disconnectivity for each side of my exhaust so that the time together, if that makes sense. So, well, this is what I got so far. I'll show you guys the pipes I got. I ordered these off eBay. Came nicely wrapped. Had one long. I believe this is a 4-foot. Each set comes with 2 4-foot straight pipes, and you see the ends are actually have a double fitting, so they slip fit in. So that makes it easy to weld. I can slip it in there and just either tack around or try to do a quick beat around. 290s, this is 190, the slip fit I was talking about. Another 90, 2 U-joints. It was all nicely packaged. One U-joint, there's the other one, and then the 2 45s, which are on the car right now. I think this kit was like 170, 180 total on one set, and it's 3 or 4 stainless steel. I ended up buying 2 just in case, because I don't know exactly, I don't want to have to pie cut everything, but so I did it that way for now. And then I'll see what I need later on, or if I have to pie cut something, I will probably just sell the rest or keep the rest for a later project. Alright, we have one of my finished angles. See, I ain't the best welder in the world. Try to make it work. You see it pretty much models prior. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at so far. I just coated them with some black high heat paint. I know it's probably gonna burn off anyway, but almost the exact same spot. Tuck's nice and flat, not rubbing though. And it still seems like I have a good angle up here to clear the brace. See, my X pipe's probably gonna go right here. I measured it. I mean, I looked at the specs for it. It's 10 inches long. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this straight pipe back situated. The one that's gonna go right here before it starts hitting the turn. And then, so I'll just calculate for the 10 inches. I'll probably cut less just to make sure. So when I actually get the X pipe, I can kind of just fit it in there. Should come tomorrow. It's Wednesday now, so it should come either Thursday or Friday. All right, so pretty much got my straight pipes fitted. You can see it's coming straight back. Here's where I'm gonna have to start making the mods, because I might have room over here. But I'm gonna, obviously this one's gonna hit the drive shaft. Both of them would. This one's actually touching it. But that's just because of the insulation from that. So I'm gonna go up a few inches prior to that. I'm gonna just cut it flat. Probably cut it flat about here. Then I'll kind of come in with my angles. I'm probably gonna actually kind of lift it just a little bit, just so I can get it to kind of tuck up a little better in the tunnel. And then I'll take the angle, flip it down, and then I'll start actually kind of bringing it down and working my curves in to fit around a diff. This part here, I should pretty much just be able to 90. Just once I get here and 90 right here, and then another 90 and straight out the rear. Then I just have to figure out my hanger situation. Okay. So on left my wheel, I got 45s welded on the straight pipe. Now, see, actually, now that I actually got that space to push the pipes up, and see it clears the brace, doesn't even touch. Now I can go through and kind of work on my angles, figure out how far, you know, I need to work this. You know, how many I need to add, if I can kind of flex it around. So I'm gonna end up probably just tacking a bunch of my 45s so I find some decent angles. We'll start from there. All right, so pretty much got passenger sides done for the most part. See, I came up here. Move this light a little bit. All right, it's pretty simple. Painted right now. I should have waited, but I was trying to mock up, so had it pretty much like a straight from that straight pipe back, kind of little pie cut, one pie cut to a straight line. I kind of ended up, like I say, this one I was kind of trying to figure it out, so I could have made this section one long piece, but I put two shorter ones till I figured it out. So another pie cut here. Pretty much coming around the diff is the challenging part. Like I said, I made more pie cuts here to like try to get the angles right, but just to get like just enough clearance, and clearance on that side and clearance on this side. You can see, I mean, it didn't end up bad angle. I got plenty of room here, and of course once I get my hangers, I end up kind of like sliding this over, making the hanger keep it stuck in this position. So for the left side, now that I have a template kind of how it's going to be, I can kind of start building the left side. Left side should be a lot easier. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to fit my pieces up and get it together. Alright, so I got the driver's side all tacked up, or at least kind of the curves it's gonna need to take. I'm gonna go put some ugly welds on it, get it solid. We'll see how it fits, and hopefully get to see how it sounds. what I got at the back. See the resonators right there? Just put a little, tack a little bar across the bottom just to keep them stable, make sure they didn't hit or spread. Then, like I said, I got my 90 degree into my 90 degree into the 10 to the tips. My other tips, the ones I'm actually gonna officially use, don't come in until tomorrow. So like I said, once I get those, I'll cut that off and weld on an actual nice, it'll say it's a 4.5-4 inch tip. Same thing this side. Like I said, I put my cutoffs on right there. So if I want to get a little rowdy, I can hit my button, open them up. So they just connect right here. I just haven't connected them yet. Let's see. Give you a full overview again. So JBA provided the flanges to bolt it onto the headers. I just, like I said, welded on the resonators that I got, just some cheap eBay wet resonators. From there, I went to a 45. How you say, of course, welded on my bungs for my O2 sensor and my wideband up there in the front right there. Used some old clamps, like these type clamps, and cut them to make my hangers. Like I say, front doesn't really need the hangers because the clamps are strong enough to kind of hold them in place. Like, so I'm still gonna take everything off and repaint it one more time. Like I said, I had my first 45, connected that to my second 45, straight pipe back into the crossover. Like I said, that was just like a cheap $20 crossover off eBay. From there, coming on back, I bought another set of resonators just to try to get the sound how I wanted it. Actually, I just tacked that, so I didn't clean it yet. See those resonators, they fit perfect. I put the bar there just to make sure they didn't separate and hit the wall or anything, or hit the tunnel, the heat shield on the tunnel. From there, like I said, this is when my pie cuts came in. Kind of used the pie cuts to mold the pipe how I wanted. Like I said, this one took a lot more. This is my first side I did, so I was trying to figure things out. Like I said, with this side, I figured out, you know, that I didn't have to do it as extreme. So pretty much this was just a 45 up front. I think it's like a 45 in the middle, one in the back. As opposed to this side, which is 45 in the front, one right there in the middle. But then right here, I kind of thought I was gonna have to curve around the rear end here, but I didn't necessarily have to do it like that. But regardless, there's that part. Let's see. Then from there, I have my 90s going to another 90, and then I welded on the Super 10 copies, and just to put on the straight pipe for the tip for now. Same thing with the other side. And then obviously, like I said, I took the cutoffs off the other setup I had and just welded them on here. And that was just to, like I say, when I want to kind of open them up. I also cut the hangers off the old axle back and welded them on to the new setup. Those actually work perfectly. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with that. Like I say, the wires were already ran for the cutoffs. I just had to plug them up here and strap them up. Same thing, tips came out almost perfect right now. I just got them hung up with some metal ties at the moment till I get, like I say, my the right setup. Once I do that, like I said, I'll cut the tips off to where I need them, tack on the new ones. Like I said, and that was it. And as you see, with the car sitting on the wheels, I can kind of get an exact look how low it is. That's just the resonators right there, so they barely hang. I didn't even see any rub marks. Like I said, no, it's painted. There's no real, like, that's actually not a rub mark. That's just kind of the prior coat of paint. Same with the other side. I didn't have any rub marks. Let's see. Coming all the way back. Still nothing hangs below. So I don't have any dips. Like I said, here is right on the axle, so that's not necessarily gonna matter as much anyway. So you can kind of see a little peak of the exhaust there when it turns to the 90. Like I say, man, that was it. Actually, it was an experiment for me. I'm not a welding expert or anything. I wanted to get into some TIG welding and try my own exhaust, so why not? I'm the kind of type of person where it's my car. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna destroy it. Push came to shove, I could always bought an exhaust if it turned out terrible, you know. So, but I like it. It's my own, so like I said, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm just trying to have some fun. Like I said, I do all this. My purpose of this is kind of show how things can be done in your own garage without having to have a fancy shop and done decently, you know. That's gonna last and not fall apart. So, anything else, any questions, leave in the comments. Let me know, man. I appreciate you watching. Alright, so what I ended up doing is I just changed the muffler out because those tins, like I say, were very drony. Tips I ordered, I just painted them black. They're 4.5 inch tips, I believe. See, I just painted everything, but I gotta go back and kind of repaint and stuff again. But these are pretty much just like a straight through packed muffler. So still a decent rumble, but it kind of helps eliminate a lot of that drone and makes it bearable. Let's see, the cutoffs are connected. That's pretty much it. All I did was just change that muffler. You know, there you have it.